Good evening. It is Monday, December 8th. The time is now 6:31. This meeting for the Cunningham Township Board will come to order. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Trustee Wu.
Here.
Trustee Evans.
Here.
Trustee Hersey.
Here.
Trustee Colasetti. Trustee Bishop. Trustee Wilkin.
Here.
Trustee Quisenberry.
Here.
Mayor Williams.
Here.
Supervisor Chenoweth. Assessor Owana. Thank you.
We have quorum. We can proceed. Next item is approval of the minutes, which there aren't any at this time. So are there any proposed additions or changes to the agenda? All right, seeing none, we will now open the floor for public input. If there's any members of the public, which we're not seeing any, so we will move on. Let me see here. We will now move to new business. Supervisor Chenoweth, the floor is yours.
Okay, I'm going to take a deep breath before I start tonight. Good evening, everyone. It's winter. There's a lot of weather events happening. I wanted to give you an update that originally I had requested that we have so much business and so many end-of-year receipts that I had asked the clerk if we could meet on the 15th. And then it looked like we wouldn't have quorum on the 15th, so it was requested to have us meet on the 8th. I've requested going forward, the hardest Mondays for us is basically a Monday where it's 7 days into the month because all of our grant reporting is due end of month. So I let the clerk and mayor know that we will bring both months of town bills to January, and we're discussing and we'll bring to you a proposal for a schedule next year that corrects for some of these issues where we just have a little bit more time, because we do have 14 grants, which is the most we've ever had. And so a lot of the grant reporting is holding up some of the town board work when the town board is happening early in the month. So I wanted to give you a winter shelter update. The clerk just sent this to you as well. I'm sorry, my original email to you bounced to both Urbana accounts. I have been able to send PDFs in the past, so I wasn't quite sure what was happening. I did want to give you an update on our winter shelter. Our goal is everyone inside for winter as we work towards housing as a human right. So that is the big picture I wanted to share, and I'm also sharing this with the public online, that the Champaign County Continuum of Service Providers to the Homeless counted 82 residents, including children, actively unsheltered as of November 1st. So that's in our homeless management information system, and that is not folks in shelter, that's people outside, or in cars or abandoned buildings or moving kind of between those. So we are experiencing the highest rates of homelessness since the point in time counts happened 25 years ago or started. And then in early November, after we saw that number, and generally in watching our street outreach numbers, we created a deduplicated list with permission of 76 adult men needing some level of expansion shelter. So I had shared this with you in the past. I just wanted to provide that context for the public. In close collaboration with Friend and me and CU Public Health, we did a rapid response creation of a winter shelter, renting the old Armory building in Champaign. The shelter is funded through one-time shelter expansion funds from Illinois Department of Human Services, but because we received about 37% of what we requested, we also have been doing fundraising. So UC Friends Quaker Meeting has donated. Dr. Ann Robin recently gave a donation, and then we've received about $16,000 in angel donor funds on top of that. The shelter opened on the Tuesday, the 25th, We were trying to get ahead of the Thanksgiving weekend, and Strides then reported no turnaways. So we had one night of turnaways, that first night with 20 people. We literally had 2 hours to let folks know because we were waiting on some confirmation from our insurance. But we've grown to 50, and we have a total of 69 intakes, or basically assessments, for folks who are eligible for shelter, and that is of today. Despite a budget gap, we are committed to staying open on days when emergency management indicates dangerous outdoor conditions, including a wind chill of 20 or below or anticipated snowfall. And we were open this last weekend, and it looks, we are now closed daytime this week because of the, I put in quotes, warmer weather, but you know, it's touching. My mother would not say it's warm, but she's from Florida. And then this weekend, it's going to go back down to really pretty severe weather, and we do plan on staying open on those days. I wanted to just pause real quickly because that's our biggest initiative, to see if anyone had any questions, and then I can go through just a couple more bullet points from our from the supervisor's memo.
Grace?
Thank you. And so you mean being open on days rather than the nights only?
Correct.
And what's the biggest budget gap? Is that the staff cost, I imagine?
Yeah, so it's staff costs for daytime, or whether that daytime is just severe weather or not. We don't have, I'm still fundraising for nighttime with meals, but we're very close to finishing that gap. We are right now spending daytime hours when it's severe weather, and I've gotten some verbal pledges to help support that, but I don't have anything to report today.
Thank you.
Mary Alice?
Okay, just to kind of follow up a little bit on what Grace's question is, the daytime hours is the one that's affected by the staff. So the nighttime hours, is it open every night?
It's open every single night.
Okay.
And it will be open through April 30th, every single night, and that is entirely funded already. So the staff for the overnight is funded. We're still funding food, but we're close to filling that gap with angel donor funds. We're almost complete with that. The public safety issue is that those daytime hours, and at minimum, we need to cover when EMA says it's dangerous to be outside. So we're starting with that piece, and then we're going to see if we can stay open longer, but at least that piece. And what it's looking like, I mean, I'm not a weather person, but I am trying to figure out last year how many times it was under 20 degrees, because that data is available. So I should have a number soon, but it's looking like something like about half of the month in the coldest months. So about 15 days that might need to be open.
And
then
Strides is not, right, Strides is not open during the day, is that correct?
Strides is open during the day,
It
but
is.
they have space for 35 people in their day room. So essentially, they have space for 50 men and 14 women. They can expand with cots in severe weather. And then they have a small day room that's really like, it's a very small day room where you can put 35, and that's pushing it. So because of the numbers that we have in the community, Strides is already almost unable to handle the number of people that they are sheltering at night and in their day room. So the only way that our participants would be able to have indoor space is for us to be open. The only option that I'm aware of is the libraries. MTD has notified us that they are limiting it to 2 hours. Despite whatever the weather conditions are, that's the maximum they will allow a person that does not have a ticket in the space.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any additional questions? Chris, did you have anything?
No, I didn't.
All right, thank you.
Great. I'll just a few more bullet points. Housing Authority had approved the $367,760 for 3 projects. I wanted to remind you all, because it's quite a handsome sum, and we're very happy that the Housing Authority, that HUD has staff, at least partially, back in the office and can sign our MOU and move forward. So we have about $150,000 in rental assistance. We're just starting to spend that money now. We've essentially spent through the CDBG money from the city of Urbana. We're then going to spend the Housing Authority money, and then we'll go to levy. We do expect to spend our entire budget. We are looking to double the capacity of family shelter by adding 8 more units. That's really exciting because our list was significant going into winter. And you have an item before you tonight that impacts that, and that is the lease, allowing me to sign leases to execute the Housing Authority dollars. And then the third is $120,000 for emergency housing for workforce development participants. Right now, we're working with 8 participants in our workforce development program who are literally homeless. And so we have secured leases for folks to move in. So we're trying to basically do as many move-ins before the holidays start. We did conduct outreach to landlords, including a lunch and learn at Urbana Wellness Center. You may remember that from October 23rd. We engaged in total with 17 interested property managers, companies, and we've gotten really great results from that, and we are bringing forward a resolution to authorize the supervisor to sign leases. And that last bullet point is supposed to say if we are able to move forward with all of these pieces, we should be able to report in January, knock on wood, that actually everyone we know that is known homeless is inside. So we're almost there. So that's what that last note. And I just wanted to show a picture at our shelter at the Armory over the Thanksgiving weekend. The men volunteered to shovel the snow. This is one of our residents who went out to shovel the snow. There were multiple men who helped out. And I just want to say thank you. We maintain that we are making the neighborhood safer and cleaner with our shelter, and we will prove that during the time of the shelter. So just want to see if there's a couple other things I wanted to mention. The Careers in Motion has kind of is separated from general assistance. We have 14 participants enrolled in Careers in Motion. We will continue to make payment on those who did not apply for that position. We did accept every applicant. But those who did not apply for the position will continue to do checks through February as general assistance maintenance checks, and they will continue to do hours at Salt and Light. So we wanted to give a gentle transition for that. Those who are on that track will then have the opportunity to apply for the second round of cohort, and there are 6 positions open. So we can take up to 20. We only have 14, and so we'll give them another option. They didn't apply this first time, but if they'd like to, they can apply for Careers in Motion second time around. Let's see. We were able... rental assistance has been pretty steady. Street outreach, we were able to assist 2 families to get into stable housing last month. I do want to say that RPC opened a congregate shelter for families experiencing homelessness, and we've given that to all families we're working with. We are hearing that families are not able to access that shelter, and we also heard that no families have accessed it since November 21st. It is funded by City of Urbana through the HHI grant. We are reaching out to discuss the reasons for that and potential barriers with RPC. So that does exist. It's an important service, but there are some things that make it difficult for families to access that shelter, and we're trying to survey our families so we can give that feedback. Let's see. We do have 4 openings in our rapid rehousing program. The way that folks access rapid rehousing is that they basically receive a centralized intake for the homeless assessment, and there are numerous organizations that can do that: RPC, Promise Healthcare, ourselves, Strides, and then we receive the family that's the highest priority. So we have asked for, we received some referrals from coordinated entry. We vetted all those referrals, and we went back and are seeking additional referrals. So I think we have about 2 families in process and then 2 more open. Let's see, and I just want to say our family wait list it's been about 3 months of waiting for housing, which is not great. We'd really like to see that to go back down to 2 weeks or less. We have seen an increase in requests for food assistance, and I will point out this program that just launched. Using angel donor funds, we are offering to pay for the raw materials for organizations to provide free meals. You could be a faith-based organization, a nonprofit, or a grassroots organization, a government entity, anyone who would like to offer meals as long as they follow public health protocol and will help with that. We will pay for the food. So we're just launching this. We have a number of groups interested, and we're working on scheduling those starting in January. I do want to say that there's a lot of messages that the SNAP funds that were turned off are back on, and that's true. What I'm trying to explain to folks is that the way SNAP is structured is very similar to what happened to the aid for families with dependent children under Clinton in the 90s, which is and then became TANF. So the vast majority of families who qualify for TANF across the country don't receive TANF, and that is because there's so many onerous requirements to access TANF. Similarly, that is the model that the feds are using to reduce SNAP benefits. So what we're going to see is a long tail of reduction. There's going to be kind of a cliff at the beginning and then a long tail, and anyone who applies and doesn't meet certain criteria will actually be sanctioned, and they could be sanctioned for years and not be able to reapply for SNAP. So it is, I just want to let folks know that basically they made the eye of the needle really thin, and it's going to be very hard for families, individuals, people with disabilities, folks who are experiencing homelessness, access SNAP. That said, we have trained our whole staff on how to help people who are homeless access the waiver for residents experiencing homelessness. We've trained our help desk, and we'll start really channeling more and more folks through our help desk at Urbana Free Library to help them fill out that paperwork. So that's the best we can do at this time, in my opinion. And then this is just our open house that we had for the Armory. We had over 100 people show up, and appreciate those who showed up. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you, Supervisor. Mary Alice.
Yes, thank you for the update. I just want to make sure I heard correctly. So the TANF, if somebody applies to TANF and they do not qualify, are they banned from applying for a certain time period?
So for SNAP, the food stamps?
Yes.
So for food stamps, I will prepare for January a little bit of an overview on this. It's very important. Basically, SNAP has a work requirement of 20 hours a week. You have to be working or volunteering, but then you get certification that you're volunteering for 20 hours a week, unless a certain set of things exist, including chronic homelessness, not any homelessness, but what is defined as chronic homelessness, folks with disabilities, et cetera. We don't work generally with folks with disabilities who have SSI. We're working with those who don't, so the federal government doesn't yet acknowledge their disability. And so there's a whole process to basically, even if folks are it's not that hard to volunteer if you're able to. If you can find someone who will take you, the issue is like going through that paperwork process or getting that exemption. And so what we are told from IDHS and the feds is that if you apply and you don't qualify, or you apply and you end up not meeting your work requirement, especially that second, you may experience a sanction where you cannot come back and apply for a period of months, if not years.
So, I mean, I understand if you don't meet the 20 hours, but what I'm hearing you say is that if you make too much money to actually be accepted to the SNAP program, you're barred from basically, is that correct?
So
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to narrow it down.
No, I don't want to misspeak because I've been focused on what homeless residents are experiencing. I did get a training in this, but let me send you the documentation
Okay, that
so
sounds
I
good.
don't misspeak. What I know, because I also don't want folks to be so scared to apply that they feel like they're going to be sanctioned. So one, I want to say we're going to help people apply, and we're going to have digital navigators help them do that. And I will bring information about that. And two, it's really important that we help people not face that sanction or appeal the sanction if it happens. So I want whoever's listening to understand that we're going to walk through that and to not give up. And I will bring you more information about the sanctions.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
All right. Is there anyone else? Chris, did you have anything? All right, we will move on.
No.
All right, thank you, sir. We'll move on to new business. The first item, resolution number T 2025-12-023R, a resolution authorizing the supervisor to sign leases for HACC-funded emergency housing support services. Danielle.
Yeah, so I pulled up on the overhead basically the three categories that we're seeking support for. It's a total of $367,760. The rental assistance is not under this resolution, but the family expansion shelter and the emergency housing for workforce development participants is under this. What we're basically asking is for you to allow me to sign leases up to the budgetary authority that you have signed off on for housing authority, so up to the kind of grant amount. I have included many leases from the landlords who have said we're ready to work with you and where we've done some matching. But I'm requesting, in case it doesn't work out and we need to go with a different landlord, et cetera, I'm requesting basically your authority to sign leases to move families and individuals into housing prior to the holidays.
All right, thank you. At this time, I will ask for a motion.
Move for approval of resolution number T-2025-12-023R.
Second.
Motion made by Grace, seconded by Mary Alice. Is there any additional discussion? Seeing none, clerk, Mary Alice, I'm sorry, thank you.
That's all right. Thank you. So, and I apologize if I missed this. How are the leases a yearly lease? Is that correct?
No, they will be for the amount that the housing authority authorizes. And so I've requested 7-month leases to get us through the summer. Originally, our MOU says up to 6 months of assistance, but I believe that means 6 payments, not a dollar amount. So the leases will all be under 12 months because of a audit requirement if we lease property 12 months or longer. So it will be somewhere between 6 and 11 months long. And it will all be within the budget line item for that particular piece.
So if HUD is saying that we can only fund it for 6 months and it goes over 6 months, how is that gap going to be filled?
So let me give, it's a little, there's 2 ways of thinking about 6 months. And the CDBG money, when we reached out to the city, what they said was we can't pay more than 6 payments,
Right.
6 months of payments,
Right.
but we can pay more than 6 months of a time.
So you can pay 2 rent payments in one.
Exactly. So
Okay.
what I've asked
Okay.
for clarification for is, does it have to be a 6-month lease or is it just 6 amounts of payments? Because I requested 10 months and they gave us 10 months of budget. And so I've asked them to clarify, you gave us you awarded 10 months, but your MOU says 6 months. So, which is it? They're getting clarification from me. So I won't sign it until I have that clarification. But it will be somewhere in that time frame between those two. Housing authorities also let us know that they are hoping to open up another round of funding next year. So one of the ways in which we may be able to provide kind of a full 12 months of rapid rehousing if a family needs it. Most of them don't. It's usually 4 to 6 months. But if there is a need, I think we have some other tools we could use.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Grace?
Thanks so much for your work on this. I'm glad to see this money coming in and going to expanded sheltering in all sorts of forms. So this would be the township is signing the lease with the landlords directly.
Correct.
And then after that time, I imagine, well, during that time, there'll be case management and y'all working with them. And then they would have the option of maybe extending that lease in their name at that property or
Correct.
finding whatever
Yep.
other appropriate options.
Yeah. So every landlord we're working with has agreed to the program process, which is essentially that tenant has the first right for that unit as long as they qualify under that landlord. And the landlords are not looking at prior evictions. They are going to look at credit and income, and we have that 6 to 7 months of working on their credit and income. So the goal is to be able to qualify them once the lease is up, and then the landlord can extend a new lease to the participant.
And they've agreed to do 7-month leases.
Correct.
Thank you.
All right. Is there any other questions, discussion? Seeing none, clerk, will you call the roll?
Trustee Wu,
Yes.
Trustee Evans,
Yes.
Trustee Hersey,
Yes.
Trustee Wilkin,
Yes.
Trustee Quisenberry.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, that resolution is adopted. Thank you all. All right, next is resolution number T 2025-12-024R, a resolution authorizing the supervisor to sign an agreement with Friend and Me for homeless services. Supervisor Chenoweth.
Sure. So there are so many leases in your packet. If you're looking for the page, it's page 83, if that's helpful, because you'll have to scroll down or you can jump to it. You may have seen this MOU before. I'm bringing it back to you because our insurance company, which is a cooperative of townships, requested that the following be in the MOU. They did provide us provisional approval to open the shelter without it, as long as it was on the agenda and they knew that it was coming from you. So Friend and Me agrees to provide proof of and maintain workers' compensation, as well as general liability insurance with no less than 1 million limits, naming Cunningham Township as additional insured. Yeah, so that's the primary change. We also made sure that it was explicit when we submit to the state. We've usually advanced an amount so that they can pay payroll. That's what we did last year, and I made sure it was in the MOU. So that was the second, is just making sure that it's documented that we're doing it in advance so that it aligns when we report to the state. Happy to answer any
Thank you.
questions.
Any questions? Grace?
Thank you. I was starting to get deja vu reading this. So it is the same one that we did last month, but some amendments. And it's fine procedure-wise to pass it as another resolution instead of amendments.
Yes. So what we'll do is we'll basically, you'll see at the very end, it says all other agreements before this are null and void, and this is the new agreement that goes in place. So supersession number 3, this MOU supersedes any prior agreements. We'll go ahead and get it signed. I'll get it to our insurance, and then we will get our updated certificate of insurance from them.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? Mr. Evans, did you have anything?
No.
All right, I'll take a motion to approve.
Move to approve number T 2025-12-024R, resolution authorizing the supervisor to sign an agreement with Friend and Me for homeless services.
Second.
All right, approved by Sharice, seconded by Mary Alice. Any additional discussion? Seeing none, clerk, will you please call the roll?
Trustee Wu,
Yes.
Trustee Evans,
Yes.
Trustee Hersey,
Yes.
Trustee Wilkin,
Yes.
Trustee Quisenberry.
Yes. Thank you. That resolution is adopted. All right, we will move to resolution number T 2025-12-025R, a resolution authorizing the supervisor to sign an agreement with Busey Bank. Supervisor Chenoweth.
Sure, so we already have an agreement with Busey Bank, and we already have credit cards. I thought, because the initial resolution came before the town board in 2018, but just to be certain, because we are expanding the number of credit cards, I went ahead and brought it forward to the board. We have so many grants that we need to segment credit cards per grant, and it makes the management of the grants a lot easier. And so each manager will have a credit card. They all have access. They do check-in and check-outs, but there's been a lot of conflicts and fistfights. No, not really. There's been a lot of, I go to buy the credit, get the credit card to pay off the utility bill, and then it's 4:30 and the person doesn't have their water or power on by that evening. We don't want that. So we want to make sure that each manager can operate with a credit card, in addition to myself and our financial director. So that's what this is for.
Awesome, thank you. Is there any questions? Mary Alice.
So I don't see, out of this very long packet, how many people and who the people are.
So this gives us, the first thing is authorizing me to sign the application. Then they'll come back and they'll request who receives them. That's dictated by our policy. So we have a credit card policy, and that policy states that you have to have signed an agreement to use the credit card and been oriented, and then I have to sign off. So officially, the policy is anyone I sign off on, but it is my intention that each manager and each executive have a credit card. So
That's different than the signature on the checks, because I know that when we've done those, you've put the names on.
yes, yeah, it's different.
And so what's your estimate in terms of the number of managers?
Well, so I have 4 managers, each of the teams, and then the A team, and then I have myself. So I expect 5 credit cards.
Okay.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, I expect 6 credit cards because we've always had a credit card for our street outreach workers in the field. So Martell is our street outreach team lead.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any, Sharice?
Do each of the people that have access to that line of credit, do they all have their own credit card that has their name on it, or how does that go? Does it a Cunningham Township?
It's
a general thing, and they all can use?
So it's a Cunningham Township credit card. In the past, some of the credit cards have been tied to the executive's personal. But we worked with Busey. These are all business credit cards. They're all tied to the Cunningham Township and not to someone's personal credit. And so I don't know if their name will actually physically appear on the card, but there'll be a series of credit cards. Probably Deshaun knows because he used to work at Busey, but they're commercial credit cards.
Okay.
They can, if they request it. That one account, though.
Okay.
I was just saying, it can if they request that, but it'll all be tied to that one account, essentially, so.
Is there a banker in the house?
Past lives.
Thank you.
Past lives. All right, is there any additional questions? Mr. Evans?
No.
All right, you're quicker on the mute button, I appreciate that. All right, seeing no additional questions, I'll take a motion.
Move resolution number T-2025-12-024R for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, motion made by Grace, second by Sharice. Is there any additional discussion? Seeing none, clerk, will you please call the roll?
Trustee Wu,
Yes.
Trustee Evans,
Yes.
Trustee Hersey,
Yes.
Trustee Wilkin,
Yes.
Trustee Quisenberry.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. That motion was adopted. Seeing no further business before this body, this meeting is adjourned. We will take a quick 5 minutes for transition and go right into the special city council. Thank you all.
Thank you.